Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm taking advantage of a great opportunity getting down to Sydney. I was going to book a direct flight between Manila and Sydney on Qantas, but I found a better option in business class on Cathay Pacific. I never thought I'd see the day I get the chance to fly on them. Cathay has always been such a prestigious airline in my eyes ever since I was a little kid. Flying with them in business class would be an amazing privilege. Now that day has come. Today's journey starts at Manila's Ninoy Aquino International Airport at Terminal 3. This airport is right in the heart of Manila. As the traffic is very unpredictable here, I gave myself extra time for once. There's some additional screening at the entrance of the terminal that didn't take too long. Once inside, Cathay's check-in desk was at the other end of the terminal. This terminal is the newest one here, but it's honestly not that great, even for opening in 2008, but it's still better than Terminal 1. The check-in area was pretty quiet, as Cathay just had a flight leave, plus my flight today wasn't too full. Check-in was done fairly quick, and the local staff are friendly. Customs and screening were a different story. Took a solid 30 minutes for both together, which wasn't too bad honestly. It took some time to find the stairs to the level where all the lounges are. When I got there, the Cathay lounge was temporarily shut down. I presume this is since the start of COVID. Not to worry, they have a contract lounge here that they share with every other airline that flies out of here, which was crazy busy. It's okay, I got some cold water and went to the gate instead.
Cold water, 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 cold water.
My flight was boarding in less than an hour, and I like sitting in quiet areas anyways. That lounge was just way too busy. If you want, you can pay your way into the Pegs lounge for about $45 US. Anyways, besides that, here's my aircraft for tonight's hop to Hong Kong. This Airbus A350-900 was delivered to Cathay in 2017 and still looks stunning. There's actually a designated boarding area for business class passengers, but I boarded well into the economy portion of the boarding.
Boarding pass. Thank you.
Alright, thanks.
Number?
Alright, thank you. Hello.
Hello. This way, please.
Alright, thank you. My seat tonight was 14K. Wow. I never understood why Cathay uses such a high number for their seating. You can be at row 91, but there's not even 90 rows on any of their planes. Anyways, this seat looks fantastic. This seat is the same on both the 900 and the 1000 series of the A350. And is a Super Diamond from Rockwell Collins. Already from my first impressions, I'm loving the color palette of this cabin and what the seat has to offer. Shortly after putting my belongings away, a dinner menu, a glass of champagne, and a hot towel was served. As there's still quite a bit of time before boarding, let me show you around the seat. There's a large privacy divider and a coat hook available. Below is a literature pocket with the safety card. This armrest is very similar to an American seat, as it gives you more space with the wing that pops out. The IFE screen folds and flips out in a fluid motion, which is very nice. The table has a two-piece design with a nice wood finish. It's very sturdy and you can leave the seat while it's deployed. Below is this massive storage bin. On top, it acts as another extension for the bed to give it some extra couple inches of room. To the side is a mini closet where the noise cancelling headphones are stored. A phone pouch and a vanity mirror are also in the door. Also inside are the headphone jack, universal power, and USB-A outlet. Behind that to the side is a reading light, seat controls, and IFE remote. This is a standard touchscreen Panasonic one that most airlines use. Finally, this seat is extremely comfortable and has a good amount of padding. We pushed off the gate 15 minutes early, as the flight wasn't that full. Manila's airport for the most part operates using one runway. Now is a good time to check out the IFE. This system is extremely easy to use and has the widest selection of movies I've ever seen on a plane. On my following flight, I spent a solid 15 minutes scrolling through the entire catalog. But since it was an A350, the onboard cameras are a must. While taxiing to the runway, I was a bit surprised when I found out the actual flight time of this flight was 90 minutes. I was expecting to be 2.5 hours. This lavatory is one step above the standard. Starting with the extra mirror lights, the nice finishes on the counters and sink, and finally, the folding bench, which is so convenient on long haul flights. Since the flight was so short, dinner was served all on one tray. I opted for the stir-fry prawns and scallops. For such a small meal, it was extremely good and rich. But it was just so hot when I first got it, like they just took it out of the oven. The chopsticks even looked like they were quality made too. From the signature drinks menu, I got the Cloud9, as the Cathay Delight wasn't available. Pretty good, but the Sprite drowns out the strength of the drink. Good if you like cocktails on the lighter side. A great map feature is instead of digging through the menus, you can find details and info about cities right from the interactive map. Seeing as, at the time of filming this, I had an economy seat plus on my flight to Sydney, I tried out the bed for 20 minutes, with a Hong Kong milk tea. Holy, this seat was so comfy, even without a mattress cover. Next thing before I even knew it, Hong Kong was approaching.
Flights on Cathay Pacific, please reserve time for security checks and arrive at the boarding gate at least 30 minutes before departure.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. Have a great night. Alright. So, you know that. Oh, thank you. I can't believe you knew my name. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. I only had about a 95-minute layover, extended by 10 minutes from the early departure out of Manila. The transfer gates and screening took about 20 minutes. It's been about 4 years since the last time I was here, and it's so nostalgic. My first time here was in 2005. And since my last visit in 2019, lots of renovations have been made. Although I'm not too sure about homeless HKG. But I'm all for the water zone. I only had about 30 minutes before boarding, so I didn't get a chance to check out the lounge, which was kinda unfortunate. Regardless of that, here's the next aircraft. This Cathay A350 1000 is 4 years old, and is the new backbone of Cathay's long-haul fleet. And it was my lucky day. I managed to snag the last business class seat on this flight. Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I was seated in the middle this time at seat 19D. Waiting at the seat was a late night dinner menu and a breakfast menu to hang for the flight attendants. In the mini closet was a bottle of water and a mini kit from Bamford. At first thought, I thought this bag might have been pajamas, but instead was the bedding. It weighed a solid 10 pounds. As with the middle seats, you can still be close with your neighbors. Right before we push back, hot towels were once again served. This flight runs at 9 hours and 30 minutes, but ended up being a little bit longer. I'll get to that in a bit. Benford is an English luxury skincare and lifestyle brand. It includes the following. By the way, this is the most comfortable eye mask I've ever used. It doesn't hug your face too tightly, and it's so soft. Cathay has a decent amount of late night flights out of HKG, so it would make sense to have a late night menu to maximize sleep. As it was recommended, I get the shrimp and pork dumpling soup. With the chili oil, this tasted absolutely amazing and it was so flavorful. The Cathay Delight was available and it was not bad. For dessert was a delicious mango pudding. I love mango and this was the cherry on top to such a relatively small meal. It wasn't overly filling and was the right size before bed. Right as I was falling asleep, a flight attendant came around with a whole box of different pralines. Perfect, thank you so much.
Would you like to try another?
I'll try the sesame, please.
Sure.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you. The bedding was one of the best I've had to date. I was just so tired and I fell asleep right away. I woke up after a solid 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep, which I've only had on a few flights before. I got the muesli with some pastries as the frittata was sounding a little too close to Air Canada's omelette. This is just overnight oats, but was still really good. I'm trying to avoid heavy breakfasts as this was the perfect size. While approaching Sydney, there was some lightning near the airport, and the ground operations were temporarily suspended. We were stuck in a holding position for an extra hour, but you know what? I wasn't complaining at all. I actually got around to finishing LA Confidential.
12:45 local, so any change to that I will get back to you. Thank you.
There was so much extra time, I even got a chance to try out the noise cancelling headphones, which were pretty good and had a rich quality to them. Being able to fly on business class on Cathay Pacific was a tremendous privilege. I tend to say that a lot as it's always a privilege to fly business class. In general, a lot of people in this world would never get the opportunity to even fly to begin with. That's something I reflect back on a lot. The day I thought I would get a chance to fly on Cathay Pacific in business class would be when I shell out part of my life savings or using thousands of points. But I'm very happy this day came sooner. Right from the beginning to the end, the staff and flight attendants I encountered were extremely welcoming and friendly, and were always obliged to answer my questions I had. The in charge even offered to take my picture, which I didn't even ask for. The seat was absolutely amazing and was one of the best seats I've had on a plane in a very long time. The food just went the extra mile. I think I've described it enough. I forgot to mention that an hour into this leg, I used the lavatory. I looked out the window and saw land instead of ocean. Ironically enough, the flight flew right back over Manila.
Remain seated with the seatbelts fastened until we do get to the bay, and I switch the lights off. Thank you very much.
Cabin crew prepare doors for arrival and cross-check, please.
I'm not sure when the next time I'll get a chance to fly Cathay in business class again, but I'm so happy I got the opportunity to share my experience with all you. If you're given this opportunity in the future, I would not hesitate to jump on it. Thank you all again so much.